So we'll start this video for Pride Month with a little bit of a history lesson for Marvel. Um, One of the first gay characters that they ever had in Marvel was a man named North Star was his hero name. Jean-Paul um, uh, Bierber, something like that. I can't pronounce it. I'm just going to refer to him as North Star because that's what I'm used to referring to him as. I've not really read anything with North Star in it, unfortunately. He he was the first superhero from Marvel back in 1992 to make the life-altering decision that he was gay. He came out of the closet. I'm pretty sure they have a whole chapter, volume, whatever about it. And he then, throughout the course of, you know, everything, apparently what ended up happening was at one point in one of the operations for whatever it was that he was part of, it says here, Alpha Flight or something like that was the organization he was part of. And what ended up happening was he apparently, I don't remember, it was like, it says here, when he literally jumped at the reader screaming, "I am gay!" I'm like, okay, calm down, dude. Um, but at that point in time, that was a very big thing to have happen, and throughout the course of the series for North Star, he ended up falling in love, and he found a partner, Kyle Kyle Janadu. Apologize if I mispronounce these names. I'm not super familiar with them. North Star ends up proposing to him. I do not know if Kyle is a mutant or if he's just a regular person. He apparently runs an extreme sport. Apparently, Kyle runs an extreme. He's a business manager. Um, no, it says here, according to my notes, Kyle started out as North Star's business manager and is responsible for the running team North Star Extreme Sports. So whatever. They eventually become boyfriends, and then North Star proposes. And then, of course, there was a huge wedding that happened in the series, big issue. Dedicated to it and everything, which is very nice. They have their nuptials. There's like all these other Marvel characters there in the background to celebrate with them, which is so nice and so supportive of them, and stuff like that. And there's a lot of fun stuff that happens there. I'm aware of the fact that they probably went through quite a few ups and downs in their relationship because it's a comic book and it's Marvel. And you can't just let a couple be happy, can you, Marvel? You make it that Rogue can't touch Gambit without trying to wipe his memories or without killing him. You can't let a couple be happy now, Marvel, can you? Same thing with DC. You can't let Batman, and Catwoman be happy. It's like, oh God, I would not want to be a character in a fictional universe because it would be like, well, things are going great, and then something horrible happens, and then someone you love dies, and then it happens again. I'm just like, can I at least have my soulmate? No, they're gonna die too. Fine, can I fall in love with an alien? Sure, you can fall in love with an alien. Are they gonna love me back? We haven't decided yet. The author hasn't decided because we don't know what the public will think yet. Which kind of brings me into the main couple I'm going to talk about for this video. Nothing against the North Star and Kyle, but they're not necessarily a couple I'm super familiar with. So the next couple that I'll be talking about for this series is actually one of the more recent couples that has happened or one of the most recent married couples that has happened in the comics for Marvel. And that is actually going to be me talking about Wiccan and Hulkling. For anyone that watched WandaVision, you're aware of the fact that Wanda and Vision had two children in the series. I believe they are, it's William Billy Maximoff is the name of one of their sons. I think he's the older of the two, if I remember correctly. He is the one that has power like his mother does. And then, of course, the other one, Tommy, I think was his name, is the speedster like Quicksilver is. Has that type of power. Um, and what ends up happening is, in through the course of the series, of course, unfortunately, Wanda, the kids grow up into like being, like probably about 10 years old or so, and like, they have their powers, they use their powers, they help in the big battle at the end of the series, and then of course Wanda has to kind of like, disengage everything in order to free the town. She has to give up her own happiness, which she does, of course. And if you haven't seen, WandaVision, then I'm sorry, spoilers. Um, but that is based off of some things that has actually happened with Wanda in House of M for Marvel, which I have read House of M. I actually have the comic. We learned that Wanda has made herself two children in House of M that are, Teddy, or not Teddy, that are Billy and Tommy. And, she loved them very much. She loved them very dearly. And then what ended up happening was when she had to disengage, the illusion of everything, they were gone. And what happened is the two boys ended up getting reincarnated inside William Kaplan and Tommy Kaplan. Billy, ends up developing the same type of powers, and at one point it is awakened in him the fact of who his kind of spiritual-ish mother is, who is Scarlet Witch. I do not remember 100% if in the actual comics, Vision is kind of their father. I don't remember exactly. It's like their spiritual version of their father. I don't remember. I think so. I think that's supposed to be the case. But I don't 100% remember that. But they, Wanda has her children, and throughout the course of the comics, which are the Young Avengers comics. One of the ones that I have over here is Avengers: The Children's Crusade, which is actually about Wiccan goes to go and find his mother. Billy goes to go and try to find Wanda, and then he finds out that she's going to be married to Doctor Doom. Yeah, hey, go read the comic. It's a good comic. The other volume I have over here is like Marvel Weddings, and we actually have like Peter Pan, ha ha ha, Peter Parker, not Peter Pan. It's not a Disney movie. It's not a Disney video. Sorry. Well, Marvel is owned by Disney, and never mind. But we have Peter Parker and Mary Jane on the cover of it. Unfortunately, Wanda and Vision's wedding is not in here. Wasp and Yellow Jacket's wedding is in here. There's a few other weddings that are in there, just like Marvel weddings from various points throughout the history of the comics. But unfortunately, I don't remember if it was like before or after that Wanda and Vision's wedding happened, but it's not in there, unfortunately. But Billy grows up and he develops his same powers, and him and his brother Tommy, who becomes I think he's just called Speed, is what he just has his quirk. This is not a My Hero video either. This is not a My Hero video. This is not a Disney video. This is a Marvel video. But Tommy has his speed power the same way. They're mutants, just like their mom and their uncle and their other aunt. I would like it if they would bring her into the series. This is the camera. This is Polaris. Well, it's an action figure of Polaris, who is actually one of the other children of Magneto. I don't remember if she's older or younger than Wanda and Pietro, but she has magnetic powers like Magneto does. So I'm going to put her over here. So she is, Billy and Teddy's aunt. If I remember correctly in the comics, she ends up marrying or ends up being in a relationship with Havoc, who is just a member of the Summers family. I don't remember if he's Scott's brother or cousin or uncle or whatever, but he's a member of the Summers family, if I remember correctly. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. But what ended up happening is, Billy joined the Young Avengers. Both of the brothers did. And then being there, Billy meets another Young Avenger whose name is Teddy. Teddy Altman. Or Theodore Altman. And Theodore Altman is actually a Skrull. He's a half Kree, half Skrull. Yeah. So his origin, and I'm not as familiar with this, according to the notes that I have. He's a space prince. Teddy's birth name is Dorek I think it's the 8th, and he is the half Kree, half Skrull son of the original Captain Marvel, who the original Captain Marvel was male, and then over the course of the comics, Carol Danvers ended up taking the name from them and taking on that mantle, and Princess Anella, and called themselves Asgardian and Hulkling. And Billy and Teddy helped found the Young Avengers. They want to join the Avengers, but they're too young, and it's fun that happens with that. And we see a lot of their relationship develop throughout the course of the comics. I don't remember if Teddy is in that is in the Child's Crusade or not. I don't remember. It's been a while since I read it, and I just don't remember. But Teddy kind of develops his power to look. He can manipulate his Skrull blood to kind of manipulate how he looks, and he just makes himself kind of look like a slightly different version of Hulk. So he goes by the name Hulkling because he has a lot of strength and everything, if I remember correctly. And they become members of the Young Avengers or the Founding. They don't like that the adult Avengers, like Cap and Stark and all the other Avengers, keep telling them what to do. And then of course, at various points when they're put into danger, they're like, why the frick did we do this? But they fight their way out and everything, and and then now that they're all grown up, if I remember correctly, Billy ends up, Wiccan ends up kind of becoming a little bit, or is like going to be like a future Sorcerer Supreme or whatever, like alongside Doctor Strange, or like after Doctor Strange can no longer be Doctor Strange, or can no longer be the the Sorcerer Supreme. Then Teddy can be the Sorcerer. Billy, Teddy, Tommy. Names are fun when they all end in the same concept. They all end in Y. But they Teddy, Wiccan, and Hulkling, they very much love each other. We see their relationship progress quite a bit. We have a moment when I know that at one point, I don't know which one proposes to which, but they do get engaged, and then at one point they have to go and have this very awkward conversation with Wanda, and she has no problem with like her son marrying Hulkling. She has no problem with that. My mutant son that was a reincarnation of my mutant hallucination son is marrying an alien prince. Okay. But like they go and they talk to her, and like she's telling them about like her wedding to Vision, and it's just funny. And like Billy and Teddy are just sitting there like very awkwardly like, can we go now? Why is there smoke everywhere? Teddy's like, Mom, or like Billy's probably like, Mom, why are you in your hero costume? I don't need a hero right now. I need my mom. Billy and Tommy, Speed and Wiccan still have a very, very good and strong relationship with their birth parents, because they're reincarnated into these two children, into this other set of twins, and they have a sister that's part of the family, but I don't think she's a reincarnation of anyone as far as I can remember. I don't think so. But they still have that very good relationship. And then they do get married. Wiccan and Hulkling do get married, and they get married on a spaceship. Well, I think they get married because like the Kaplan family are Jewish, I think, and then I think they get married in Vegas, and then they get married on a spaceship, and like the rabbi comes and he performs the wedding, and he has a line after the wedding that's like, "Well, boys, that was my first outer space same-sex Jewish wedding, but I hope it's not my last." I'm like, are you going to start a business for this or something? I mean, like, you are the expert technically, but I just think that quote is so funny. I was trying to find a quote to work with this for like the ending bit, and I'm like, well, what quote can I find? And I'm just like, that quote there. That sums up this relationship perfectly. I mean, like, there's other, very heartfelt things, of course, that Billy and Teddy have to go through in regards to their relationship. in regards to just being with each other and each other's families and their duties and everything, since Hulkling is a prince, and Billy has to take on that as like the prince's consort type of role. So there's a lot that goes into that, but the two love each other very, very dearly, and it is very, very, very nice to watch. So I have one more couple after this that I'll be talking about. So I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Bye. Well, boys, that was my first outer space same-sex Jewish wedding, but I hope it's not my last.